Posteriorly there are the second and posteriorly there is a second and third tracheal rings. Second to third tracheal rings. Posteriorly there is a second to third tracheal rings. Upper border there is a superior thyroid artery. Upper border, not superior borders, upper border. It is called upper border. Upper border. Upper border has superior thyroid artery. Inferior border. It is the inferior border from which the inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland. Inferior thyroid vein. Upper border has a superior thyroid artery. Upper border has superior thyroid artery. Inferior border has inferior thyroid vein. Inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland. Inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland. Inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland. Inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland from the inferior border of the isthmus. At the level of the inferior border of the isthmus, inferior thyroid vein leaves the gland, and superior upper border there is a superior thyroid artery. It is the relations we will see. These are the relations of the gland. Now we will see the diagrams, so that once again we will see that it is the pyramidal shaped structure. It is the thyroid cartilage. It is the thyroid cartilage clasped by the trachea here. Trachea, see, 4th to 5th tracheal rings are here. It is the trachea. You can see the tracheal rings here, and it is the thyroid cartilage, the upper, see here. Middle of the thyroid, it is the pyramidal shaped. 2 lobes are there, a right lobe and left lobe. And levator glandulare thyroid attached to the isthmus. To the hyoid bone. A fibromuscular structure attached from the hyoid bone to the isthmus. That is called levator glandulare thyroidae. Levator glandulae thyroidae. A fibromuscular band attached from hyoid bone. It is the thyroid gland attached to the thyroid cartilage. So the cartilage of that, it is the pyramidal lobe. It is the isthmus which connect between these two are the isthmus, and it is the 4th ring and 5th ring. You can 4th and 5th rings. You can see here, and you can see here the 3rd cervical to 3rd cervical, 4th cervical, 5th and 6th, 7th, and see here. These are the cervical vertebrae. Cervical vertebrae can be seen here. And the last is the thoracic vertebrae. Location is there. Now the false capsule. It is the false capsule, which is the condensed connective tissue. Condensed connective tissue of connective tissue. It is the true capsule. True capsule is nothing but it is the prevertebral fascia. That is the prevertebral fascia, and it is thickened to form a ligament called suspensory ligament of Berry. Suspensory ligament of Berry, and there is a venous capsules. To avoid the hemorrhage, both capsules are removed. Both capsules are removed during the thyroidectomy, but during the prostatectomy, both capsules are left behind. In the prostatectomy, both capsules are left behind to avoid the hemorrhage. See the difference during the thyroidectomy, during the prostatectomy. During the thyroidectomy, both capsules are removed. During the thyroidectomy, both capsules are removed to avoid the bleeding. During the prostatectomy, 2 capsules are left behind to avoid the bleeding. It is the difference between the thyroidectomy and prostatectomy. Well, now we'll see the relations. The superior relations are lateral relation. The superiorly, it is called a lateral relation, sternohyoid muscle. It is the sternothyroid muscle, and it is covered by the overlapped by the sternomastoid. Overlapped by the sternomastoid muscle medially. See here, medially you can see the 2 tubes, trachea and esophagus. And 2 muscles are here. Inferior constrictor cricothyroid. And laterally, you can see posterolaterally, carotid sheath, which has got the common carotid artery, external jugular vein, vagus nerve. It is on either side. These are the relations. And you can see the deep relations here. Superior laryngeal nerve can be seen. The inferior constrictor muscle is here. See, the medial muscle. Medially there is an inferior constrictor muscle. You can see here deep relations. And there is a superior laryngeal nerve, is the internal laryngeal nerve branches from the vagus nerve. Here the vagus nerve can be seen here. Now we'll see about the blood supply. Blood supply is from the, you can see the blood supply, that is the superior thyroid artery. It is the superior thyroid artery from the branch of the external carotid artery. It comes and pierces the fascia. After piercing, it divides into 2, anterior branch and posterior branch. After piercing the fascia of the thyroid gland, it divides into 2, anterior branch and posterior branch, and anterior branch it goes anteriorly, and anastomosis its own fellow. Anastomosis its own fellow here, its own fellow on of the other side it will anastomose. But posterior branch, it will anastomose with the ascending branch of the inferior thyroid artery. Inferior thyroid artery is a branch of the thyrocervical trunk which arises from the subclavian artery, which ascends upwards and downwards. Here the posteriorly comes. Posterior relations of the inferior thyroid artery can be seen here. See here, ganglia, middle cervical ganglia, carotid sheath, which contains the internal carotid artery, external jugular vein, and carotid and laryngeal nerve. See here, before piercing into the fascia, it used the 4 to 5 branches. These branches are called as glandular branches. Before piercing, it divides. Whereas superior artery enters and divides. Before piercing, superior thyroid artery will enter the fascia and divides. But it divides before entering. 4 to 5 branches. 4 to 5 branches. These branches are called as glandular branches. They are called as glandular branches and enters the fascia. Enters the gland, fascia, follicles, gland, enter the gland. And it goes posteriorly, there is a middle cervical ganglia and carotid sheath, and there is a vertebral artery in front. Anteriorly, in front, there is a vertebral artery and vessels are here. Anteriorly or in front, vertebral artery and vessels are there, and this inferior thyroid artery closely intimated to the recurrent laryngeal artery. This is a surgical importance, very much important to the surgeon. And here, superior thyroid artery is intimately related to the external laryngeal artery. During the thyroidectomy, while the nerve is close to the artery, but little away from the gland. Hence, surgeon should not ligate the external laryngeal artery nerve. He should be careful ligating the superior thyroid artery. Hence, superior thyroid artery must be ligated close to the gland. Superior thyroid artery must be ligated close to the gland to save the laryngeal nerve, external laryngeal nerve. Superior thyroid artery should be ligated close to the gland. Close to the gland here, not away. But extralaryngeal nerve is little away from the gland. Hence, we should tie the surgeon should tie the gland close to the superior thyroid artery. Should be tied close to the gland. But here also the same thing. Because while removing the gland, surgeon must know that he may injure the recurrent laryngeal nerve. While ligating also, he should know there is this superior thyroid artery. While ligating, there is the external laryngeal nerve. Inferior thyroid artery related to the recurrent laryngeal nerve. It goes above. Recurrent means it goes upwards. It takes reverse of course. Recurrent it is called. Has to be known. Two things surgical point has to be borne in the mind. While ligating during the thyroidectomy, the superior thyroid artery must